Alrighty, welcome back there, Smite fans. Let's go ahead and jump right into the item build part of the ISIS guide. The starting items we will be talking about are Vampiric Shroud, your shoes, level 1, a health pot and a mana pot. That is the basic starting early game for an ISIS. It gives you good sustain and, everything you're going to need. But if you feel like being a bit risky and you're really confident in yourself, you should try picking up Doom Orb. Yeah. Doom Orb, always good. Or you could go into Vampiric Shroud with 2 actives and a pot. This will allow you to be able to do some pretty cool things, such as using Hand of the God to clear waves quicker and easier, or teleport to make sure you're always back in lane and you don't have to worry so much about your mana. Now let's talk about your more core items, right? These are going to be Bancroft's Talon, Voidstone, Gem of Isolations, Rada Tahuti, and Iffy Breastplate. So first off, let's talk about Bancroft's Talon. This item is a core pickup because it has a high amount of magical power with a fairly low cost. The lifesteal and passive are nothing to laugh at either, as you can never give up a little extra sustain, and you're always going to have some health missing, so it's going to give you extra firepower in fights. Voidstone, pretty obvious as it would be. It's magical protection with magical pin. This means that your abilities will hit harder. It also means that the person that you're going up against, which is most likely going to be a mage, unless they're doing something crazy, you're going to get use out of it. And, it's got magical power. Nothing really wrong with this item. Of course, you're going to want focused Voidstone. Next is Gem of Isolation. This item gives Isis a large amount of control. She already gets movement speed from her 1, which means her 1 is now going to give her movement speed, and it's going to decrease their movement speed, making it easier to hit with her 1 and for you to dodge any abilities they throw at you. Not to mention it has mana, which is always good, and it's just an overall great item, especially if you consider it with her ult detonating. It means a large group slow that will increase the chances of other people landing their ult, such as Sobek, Ymir, etc., etc. Big damage potential and control with this item. Oh, Rada Tahuti. It's a very straightforward item. You buy it so you kill people, and you kill their faces really good. This item alone offers 156 magical power. Sure, it's the most expensive item in the game, but 156 magical power on its own, not to mention it increases all your magical power by 25%. It is an amazing item and even great pickup on Isis. Most mid laners are magical. Most junglers are physical. So the suggestion of Breastplate of Valor is mainly because of this fact. You're going to be getting ganked, or they're going to attempt to gank you anyway. And protection and the cooldown are amazing. Not to mention, it has a very large chunk of mana, which is always good as well. Now, if you went the Doom Orb route, you're going to have to choose an item not to pick up from this list. It's going to be up to you to decide. Maybe you don't want Bancroft's Talon. It's a possibility. I would suggest probably you want to keep Rada Tahuti, though. Gem of Isolation, honestly, that's the only item I would personally replace, but that's just me. Just saying, throwing it out there, I'm letting you know. But, that said, let's say that things are going good. Let's go ahead and give you a few options, though, because options are what this guide is about. We want to be able to talk about the many things that you can switch out so that you don't feel bogged down with having to do some silly cookie cutter build, because they're boring, let's be honest. So first off, we're going to talk about the first option, which is Bancroft's Talon. You can switch this item out for Polynomicon. It's occasionally done. This item is pretty good on Isis, as it will give her a large single hit, and with all the spell power that you'll be stacking from your other things, it's a pretty good pickup. It does mean, of course, as we said a little while ago, you're going to have to choose a new item to exchange for Doom Orb if you go that route. It also allows you to do extra damage on towers and getting a secure for a kill. Rada Tahuti may sometimes be replaced with Soul Reaver, depending on your personal preference. Generally, you're going to want the extra magical power that Rod gives you, but Soul Reaver is a very good item, especially against a tanky, magical defensive team. And then our last little option here that we're going to give you, maybe more in the future, who knows. Breastplate is kind of an optional one. The protection it gives you is really good if your jungler is physical. But what if they're magical? Then what are you going to do? You either choose to go Glass Cannon, replacing with Soul Reaver, or maybe even Chronos Pendant, or you try to get a magical defensive item to help mitigate the damage you're going to take for 2 people. But that's kind of your choice. I personally say, if you're going to go up against it, grab Bulwark of Hope, as it is a very, very good item for the amount of bulkiness it can give you. Now, the possibilities for actives is pretty much limitless. It really is up to your personal preference, but of course, being myself, I'm going to give you a few of the options that I like, and you can take it how you want and use it however. So let's see. Let's talk about Teleport. This is a great item. It allows you to stay in lane longer, or should I say get back to lane quicker, and allows you to use a lot more mana than you would normally be able to get away with. At max level, it is a 60-second cooldown, which means once a minute you can go back to base, buy items, and come back to lane. That is pretty damn amazing. The next active is Hand of the Gods. So this item can be built to help you clear waves quicker and to secure side lanes, the mid-fury buffs. This can be later built into Fist of the Gods to allow you to stun your enemies while killing them. Extra stun is always good. Or you can pick up a full Hand of the God to give you a double secure for your objectives. Weakening Curse is another choice that you can pick up. This will give you even more slow and crowd control potential, along with decreasing any auto attack damage dealers' damage. Now, of course, there is always Purification Beads and Aegis Amulet. These are both wonderful choices depending on what you're going up against. If you're going up against a team that has the ability to stun you and kill you because of the stun, then you're going to want to get Purification Beads. If you're going up against someone with a very strong ultimate, or damage that you don't know if you can avoid, such as the Thanatos ult, or Ao Kuang's ult, etc., you're going to want to pick up Aegis Amulet so that you can negate the damage. I say all of these things, however, I recommend never Hiccup Meditation. It's not a good item. Salvation, maybe. You might be able to convince me somehow that Salvation could be good, but for the most part, no. But that is going to conclude the item build part of this guide. That was my knuckle popping, it hurt. Popping up on the screen right now should be a link that is going to take you to the next part, which will be junglers, who you are jungling with, or not with, but who you have jungling for you. Well, that concludes this part of the guide. I thank you for watching. There will be a link on the screen magically as I am talking that will allow you to pop over to the next part of the guide, which will be talking about the junglers that will be coming into your lane to help you beat people's faces in. Yeah, sounds good. So stay tuned, click the link, go on, and as always, have a wonderful day.